Yo, One Piece chapter 1122 is finally out and it is an absolute banger. I'm not gonna lie, I was super thirsty for this chapter. Like, after the last chapter, it's hard not to be hyped. All Wednesday, all Thursday, I was waiting, and then you know what? Early Friday, I see it drop, so let's get it. But if you like cool, chill, refreshing One Piece content, think about giving us a like or a sub as we are on our way to 1K. Join the Cold City. Starting off, we get a cover request to Smoker, and at first I'm thinking, hold on, I know Smoker ain't in Wano, I know Smokey ain't go there, but it was actually a cover request. But I'm pretty sure it's paying homage to Horikoshi, as this is his last week in Shonen Jump. My hero is wrapping up his 10-year journey, literally to the day it started, and I mean, Oda loves to show respect to the people that came up and show him respect, so let's get it. Starting off, Oda takes us a few places around the world, just kind of showing everyone's final thoughts and reactions when it comes to the news of Vegapunk. And I mean, it's mostly pirates who are like super hype and people who are scared that they're going to sink. Like, it makes sense. For the many pirates of the world, it's just another layer of validation that, you know, the One Piece is real and that there is actually something out there to go get. Like, it's not just a myth. Because, I mean, just think, for most of these guys, it's been 20 plus years since Roger. So it's like, do we still know if it's still there or not? And it's just another layer of confirmation that it is. Then we get some of the Marines' reaction, and it's funny because some of them are like disappointed in Vegapunk, where it's like, clearly these guys don't know the whole story, but that's kind of expected for the Marines. Of course, not the top brass, but I would say for everybody under Admiral, maybe Admiral, but I would say under Admiral for sure. But the most important and I would say interesting part of this section is we see Kobe kind of digesting and really taking in the message, and then he begins to reminisce about, you know, his conversations back with Luffy over 1100 chapters ago. He thinks about Luffy dreaming to become the king of the pirates and to find the One Piece, and he comes to the conclusion that he has to stop him. Now, this is very interesting to me for a couple different reasons. One, I don't know if Kobe is buying into the propaganda of Luffy being like an evil pirate or something like that. I know that's not the case, or maybe because he haven't seen him in a long time, but I think that he's feeling like Luffy just has to be stopped, like it's too powerful for anyone to have or something like that. Now that he 100% knows that the One Piece is real, even though he was there for Whitebeard's speech, now it's just another layer of confirmation, like I said, and I think he just believes now like this is too powerful for anyone to have, including Luffy. That's the angle I'm thinking about. But another interesting angle that this brings up is it kind of calls back to a video I did months ago. And the idea of it was, who would be Luffy's Garp? And when I say that, I mean, you know, between like the Roger and Garp dynamic, would it be Fujitora? Would it be Smoker? Would it be Kobe? Now, I did have a couple reservations about it being Kobe, but this kind of confirms it. And let me go over that just a little bit. My main thought was, and I kind of still do believe it, is that I don't think he's strong enough to be Luffy's rival in that sense. Kobe definitely is a strong guy, but I don't think he's top 20 right now. Not even, like, I just don't think so. This makes me think back to Roger and Garp dynamic, and we know that they had many battles, and most of them kind of seem like they came out to be a tie or inconclusive. But if I had to put my money on it, if I was a bet man, I would say that Roger was just a bit stronger than Garp. They clearly knew that each other were good guys, but just on the opposite sides of the fence. So I don't think that Garp nor Roger necessarily really tried to hurt the other, but I think that Roger was just a bit stronger than him. I cannot see Kobe being strong enough to catch up to Gear 5 Luffy right now. Not even Gear 4 for real. I just can't see it. Like, he's had amazing growth throughout the series, and I mean, second to Luffy. Like, literally only second to Luffy when it comes to just how much he's grown, but I don't think that's enough to, you know, stop Luffy from getting the One Piece. But we all know that Luffy is always open to any challenge, so we'll see where it goes. Then we stop by two of the other four emperors in Buggy and Blackbeard. On the Buggy end of things, it's just more quote-unquote Buggy hype amongst his guys, and I mean, it's just more Buggy at this point. Like, we already know what Buggy is on. Blackbeard, however, is playing out just as most of us imagined. He's getting a call right now about Caribou and the information, and I mean, he says, I want to check him out myself and vet the information, then I'll kill him if it's a dub. So we know where that's going. He's either going to Wano or Fishman Island. Most likely Wano, because I feel like it's probably the easiest to get to. But, I mean, you never know. Blackbeard is a weird guy. He'll come up with some off-the-wall plan and go get both at the same time. Now we get to the meat and potatoes of the chapter. Now, last chapter, I kind of thought that our guys escaped, but not completely. Nosjuro is back on our tail, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, he did get blew up, but we know that's not enough to stop the girl. Say not at all. So I like that they didn't just let Atlas, her sacrifice go out in vain, but at the same time, kinda is, because I mean, he's girl. Say that doesn't take him out. We get Nosjuro and Zoro teased again as he's getting close, and Zoro kind of stands up like, okay, like this is my time, I'm about to get him. But before that happens, we get the conversation we've all been kind of looking for, that interaction between Luffy and Emeth. He apologizes for Nosjuro going after them as he knew it was a chance he could be alive. And Luffy just kind of looks at him like, bro, like, are you mistaking me for somebody else? Like, you keep talking to me like you know me, or like calling me somebody else, Joy Boy, but do you know who, like, are you mistaking me? Like, what's going on? Then Emeth says, you look just like him. It was nostalgic. My feelings came rushing back from that day. I just love how we're getting a sentient robot in One Piece. Like, it's crazy. Like, whatever tech they had is out of this world. Then he says, as he's still talking to Luffy, thinking about Joy Boy, I failed to make him king. Now that brings up a very interesting point. Now, we all know that Joy Boy was the first pirate, but was he trying to be the king of the pirates? Or did Emeth fail in making him the king of the world? Which one? Was it Joy Boy's goal to be the king of the 20 countries and the ancient kingdom? Was it? I don't know. Then he asks Luffy what's his name, and Luffy tells him, of course, Monkey D. Luffy, I'm going to be the king of the pirates. Then he says, D, huh? Thank you, Luffy, for letting me hear that nostalgic rhythm one more time. And that just makes me think, was it giving him energy when Luffy went in Gear 5? Or was it something that was just kind of like a wake-up call for him? Then here comes the bombshell of the chapter as he does something no one expected. He grabs this knot within his arm and he pulls it, and he unleashes, I would say, I'm going on record, I would say this is the strongest Haki we have ever seen within the series. When I tell you it goes miles and miles and miles outside of Egghead, it looks absolutely insane. It's insane how far it reaches, like absolutely powerful, massive. So powerful, in fact, that it reverts all the girls say back to their human form and send them back to Marie-Joie. All except Saturn, which is interesting to me. Nonetheless, this is the greatest Haki feat we've ever seen. It's like Shanks' Wi-Fi Haki, but times like 100 in that close range. This just is another testament when it comes to Conqueror Haki, just showing how many levels there are when it comes to it and just how much Luffy still has of growth. He didn't even attack him. He didn't even do some cool named Haki move. All he did was just release the Haki, and that in itself was strong enough to debuff them and send them boys back up home. When the Gorosei get back to Pangaea Castle, we see Marcus Mars just sitting there on the couch chilling like, where y'all been? Like, y'all just getting back? And I think this is a Luffy dub, because I think he's been there already, so maybe Luffy sent him out of range or something or what. He already there chilling, and they just all have their heads down looking absolutely defeated. But I would say the best part is we get to see Emu, and he is on his knees shook. He felt that Joy Boy conquers Haki and was just like, oh my God, like he here, like start ducking, getting scared. We've never seen Emu shaking or on his knees. I believe if he wasn't silhouetted, my boy would be sweating right now. He would be sweating bullets because he felt that Haki and was like, he ain't felt that in years. Pause. He ain't felt that in years. The rest of the Straw Hats land on the Great Eric finally, and everyone is kind of looking like, what happened to the monsters? And did that robot just have Haki? And I mean, can you blame them? As readers, we know what's going on, but could you imagine for the people in story, like the guys right there, they don't like, this is absolutely nuts. This crazy old robot just got up, he started fighting, now he releasing Haki, monsters going like, this has to be absolutely nuts. Then we see Saturn and Emeth having a little stare down, and it kind of makes me think that Saturn might be the oldest of all the girls, saying he might have actually been around back then. But then we get one of the most important flashbacks I would say we've gotten thus far, and it confirms a few things. I think we get a flashback between Emeth and Joy Boy, and I think there are a couple things to note right here. First off, Joy Boy is regular human size, seemingly. He doesn't look like a buccaneer nor a giant. He looks like Luffy, which makes a lot of sense, as Emeth did just tell Luffy, you remind me a lot of him, you look just like him. Now, I kind of took that as Gear 5, but what if he looks just like Luffy, like literally just like Luffy? He says to Emeth, I'm going to gather my most powerful Haki and seal it inside you. You're bound to live much longer than me, and I'm not going to always be around to help you. I think this is such a Luffy statement, as we know Luffy lives for helping his friends and protecting them. Then he says, at some time you'll be in danger or you'll want to protect somebody, then untie the knot. The knot definitely reminds me of that knot thing that Nami had back up in, the Sky Islands when she was during the time skip. I'm almost positive it's that same type of technology, but maybe just an upgraded version or maybe the original version. So then Emma says, so when the time is at hand, you'll still be around to help. And Joy Boy says, yes. Whenever that happens, I'll be here saving you from the past. Then Emma pretty much says, now if you're dead, you'll still be here with me, still able to save me. And Joy Boy says, that won't happen for ages, which makes me think that this took place maybe a long time before the war or right before the war. I don't think this was during the war. I don't know where the location that they're speaking at, but I know someone's going to find it and be able to, figure out the landmarks just from seeing 1 or 2 panels. Like, you guys are amazing at that. Then the chapter finally wraps up, and this was a hell of a chapter. Like, oh my God, it was one of those. Like, it was kind of short. Don't get me wrong. It was kind of short, but it was a lot packed into it. Like, yeah, this is one of them. Like, it's hype. Like, yeah, like, Let me know your thoughts, though. There is a lot to unpack here. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, share, sub, whatever. Hey, join the cold city. Stay cold.